Buddy, welcome. Welcome.
I'm going to start because I'm already unmuted. Autumn. Well, I always feel awkward. I'm like, I'll go. Guys, Autumn Sherry, I don't know if she's on here yet. She's officially Emerald tomorrow in her business, and she's one away from Success Club and Success Starter Month 1. And I know she's going to do it because we talked about it. It's happening. And I also want to shout out Maddie because she messaged me today. She's like, hey, I reached out to Bob Heilig and he might speak on our team call. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just want to shout her out for like just being fearless. Like she reminds me to be more fearless because she just goes and does the things. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me catch up real quick. Let me go message somebody like Bob Heilig. I was fangirling. But I think we can all take a lesson from that to not be afraid to reach out to people sometimes. Like Bob Heilig's this guy that we listen to on this podcast that I just absolutely love him. But you just never know. So reach out to people, ask the questions, like put yourself out there, whether that's to Bob Heilig or the person that you dream of being on your team with you. Right. So just send the message. I just thought that was so cool. And hopefully we'll get him on our team call.
Yes. He said, yes. Totally cool. And Kelsey will have to, if we get that, we have your team come too, because I know you worked with him and loved him. So we'll need to max it out for Big Bob. Any other recognition?
I'm going to shout out Ashlyn. She is 2 weeks into the business and already got Emerald this weekend. So she's also one away from her first Success Club month and being a success starter, hopefully. So shout her out.
I want to shout out Allie Workman. I've told you all about her, but she sat for a discount for 2 years, guys, and she hit SC10 in the last 2 weeks. And she's going to be a next diamond coach on our team because she's just going all in. She's doing the things. She's being a leader. She doesn't wait for me to tell her what to do for power hours. She always already had her diamond tracker out. So I'm super proud of you. And to my Team Cup team, y'all are top 100 in the Northeast. Keep up the great work. Finish strong. Noelle, Jess, and Jill, keep up the great work, y'all.
I'll go really quick. My coach, Caitlin, she signed up yesterday, and she's like so type A like me, and I love it. She's worked her way through like all the trainings and all the units and everything. She was on our call before this. She's on tonight, and I just love when someone jumps out of the gate and does all the things because that to me tells me like you're ready to run, and that energy is contagious. So Caitlin, welcome to the team. Brittany, who's hit Success Club for the first time this month, then hit Success Club 10. So Brittany, I'm so proud of you. Awesome job. And then the 6 a.m. team huddle girls, I have like my little checklist here, but Amanda, Mackenzie, Ailika, Maddie, Catherine, Jamie Taylor, Autumn, Caitlin Quick, Angie, obviously Danielle Jakubowski, she started it. Rachel K, Julia, Kimberly, Christina, Katie, Alex. It's been so fun seeing everyone at 6 a.m. And I'm sure I missed a few people, but I tried to keep a log. And so I've been getting on and working and like just seeing your faces there. I'll start like fucking around on my phone or like going down an Instagram black hole. And then I'm like, oh yeah, my team is right there. I should probably get back to work. So just like having y'all's faces there has one, made me get out of bed. Like not snooze my alarm, get out of bed so I can get on at 6 a.m. and see who else is on. And two, it's just kept me super focused. So I love that. Some people are working, some people are working out, but join us, you guys. Like there are people on there already when I get on at 6 a.m. So earlier than that, later than that, you can hop on anytime. And that link is in our announcements on the team page. It's the workout hub. So join us for that. It's been so fun.
Welcome. I didn't know I missed that memo. Like, that's amazing. I have a couple early bird challengers that get on in the morning before work to do their workout, and they've been saying it's packed all week, and I'm like, that's great. Everyone's committed to MBF. Like, I didn't know it was because y'all were working. That's so great. Any other recognition? All right, let's run with that. Can we get Danielle, you muting those lines? Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I lost you, Kels. Oh, there you are. I am so excited that we have Kelsey Smith on the call. It's bittersweet for me because once upon a time, it was me and Kelsey on a Zoom, just praying that some of our teammates would show up. And I'm sure that you guys relate to that, that you come into this business and you get on these calls and you see that these teams are forming, and you just kind of hope that one day somebody will want to run this business with you. And like I said in my intro for her online, Kelsey was that coach for me. And she not only I not only mentored her, but we were more like success partners. You know, it was not so much of like, I'm trying to hit this goal. It was more like, let's both try to hit this goal. And we also even had this competitive spirit with one another, where she would try to do something, then I would try to do something. And sometimes it got a little bit unhealthy, so we'd have to like reel ourselves back. But overall, she was always somebody that I could count on to show up. And I knew that if I was ever slacking in my business, that I could always look over and Kelsey was kicking ass. And if she was doing something in her business, then I was there to give her the tough love she needed. It's just the power of team and community. But having that first coach, like, I think there's a fine line of mentoring and being there for somebody and being able to be honest with them, but it's also an accountability buddy that you can build your business from the ground up with. And Kelsey, you were that person for me. And it's been so awesome to watch you grow and transform and become this top coach in the company, and to get to speak to now my team, which is ultimately your team, but you have your own thing on Wednesday nights. So we don't get to see you or your team anymore because we all kind of branch off a little bit and grow and do our own things. But you've taken the night tonight to be here with us to share with so many faces that I'm sure you don't know. Your knowledge, your story, your truth. And if you guys don't know Kelsey, she is very blunt, very straightforward, kind of like no BS. So it's going to probably be a really funny, tough love, but you need it kind of call. And then the other thing about you that I will say that I love is just you are the most reliable person. Like, you're just amazing, and I've always been able to count on you from day one, no matter what it is. If it was a resource, if I couldn't figure out how to do something, you know, you were on it. If it was, you know, me just needing a break, you were taking over, and just always there. And through this journey of watching you struggle so much with infertility, and now having your miracle baby, and being this new mom trying to navigate this new way, and watching her husband just lose his job to now it being okay because her Beachbody business is supporting their entire family. You know, I just hope that I can pay forward to you the gift that you've given me the last 6 years, and just support you and be here for you and offer anything to you and your team that I can. So welcome to, we call this Transformation Nation because we're a mix of about 5 or 6 big hub teams, and we're pumped to have you, dude. Like, talk to us.
Hello, everyone. I'm like scrolling through, and there are so many faces I've never seen before. And I'm in the Transformation Nation page, and I try to keep up with everything in there. But just like Nat said, it's such a bittersweet thing whenever you start like together, and then all of a sudden it's like a great thing that like your team gets to that point where you kind of have to like branch off and do your own thing. But at the same time, obviously this is home for me. So it's good to see so many of your faces. Now, I always like to start calls by letting you know, unless you are sitting on the pot taking a poo, I would love to see your face. Because this is a family, and we are here. Like, I want to make sure, like, I don't like talking to boxes, for the mere fact that I remember my very first call, I was that girl that would hide behind the black screen and pray that nobody saw me. So if you guys are on here, put your video on. Let's all see each other. There is almost 70 people on this call. So super awesome. I know I had my team pop on here too, so this is probably an extra large call. It's kind of nice seeing it doubled. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get started.
for those of you who don't know who I am, I want to take a second and dive back into my story and how I got started, because in all honesty, like I can't get into my topic tonight without telling you where I came from. And again, some of you might know my story because I know I see a lot of familiar faces on here, but a lot of you probably don't know where it began for me. And honestly, Natalie was asking me like what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I was like, just name this thing Walk It, Talk It, because if you guys follow me on Instagram, I am all about that song. Like I'm the kind of person that's like, we talk like this because we can back it up. Like that's why I talk the way that I do. Yes, I am very blunt. That's a delicate way to put it. I just get really excited and passionate. And I also am a very big believer in that if you want, whatever you want out of this business is going to take work. You're not just going to sign up and you're not just going to get everything handed to you. And one mistake that a lot of coaches make, in my opinion, is that they only share the fun, fluffy stuff and they don't share the work that goes into getting to where you want to be. I was actually telling some of my Emerald coaches last night on our mentoring call. I was like, the biggest mistake that I see a lot of coaches make is like, for instance, went on a cruise last year, and every single time I will see posts that are like, be here next year, or like, you can do this too. And then I'm like, but ... And if you hit Success Club every single month, if you're changing lives, if you're showing up, if you're paying for your product every month, like there's this like little disclaimer. It's like, you can be here too. Then it's like that guy in the ad with like the 13-second, like, you know, you're going to die essentially if you take the supplement, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's literally what it is. Like, yeah, you can earn this too if you're going to do the work, you know? And so I want to kind of, the whole point of this call tonight is to bring you guys back to the beginning of my journey and show you what I have done over the past 6.5 years to get to where I am today. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a whirlwind of a call because I was doing a lot of like going back into my beginning tonight. And I think it's going to be extremely relatable to a lot of you, especially those of you that just started. Okay, so with that being said, I started this back in 2014, guys, because I didn't have any other choice. So I have been here since the dinosaur era of the DVDs and having to buy a new challenge pack every single time that a new program came out. So if you have been enrolled in the past couple of years, you are blessed because I have a shit ton of money in DVDs sitting in my closet that I will never use again. But honestly, guys, coaching came into my life when I needed it the most and I didn't even know it. To give you guys backstory, I battle depression and anxiety. have had it for as long as I can remember. It started when I was a kid and was being bullied. And then every single time that something was off in my life after that, I would fall back into the state of sadness and panic. And if you're somebody who deals with anxiety or depression, you know that when that comes along, it's super hard to get out of it. It takes a second. You kind of have to really work on your brain. And honestly, when I was younger, you know, my parents were amazing. And they helped me the only way that they knew how. And back then, what that meant was take their kids to the doctor, get put on antidepressants, and then temporarily feel better. And before I knew it, like something else would trigger that. So if you guys know my story, you know that my depression hit an all-time low in 2009 after my best friend passed away in a car accident. And that was the darkest time of my entire life. I was a sophomore in college. And I carried anger and sadness into every aspect of my life from that moment forward. That went through the remainder of college and into my first career as a news reporter, which at the time was all I ever wanted to do with my life. Like my dream was to be the next Susie Colbert on the NFL sidelines. Like that was what I was going to do. But the thing is, and I'm sure you guys know this too, if you went to college, is that whenever you go and you pick a major, it's not like somebody's sitting there telling you about all the unglamorous stuff that's going to come with that career path. They just say, okay, cool, check off your boxes. This is what you're committing to and this is what you're going for. And honestly, nobody told me how unglamorous the news reporting life was going to be. You know, like you think it's just somebody, you think when you're looking at the TV, it's somebody with a microphone, you know, staring into your soul and talking about the news. But the truth is like, no one told me how little I was going to be paid. Nobody told me how many hours I was going to have to work. No one told me how underappreciated I was going to be. And I know a lot of you are from West Virginia. I started at a news station in Clarksburg, West Virginia. That was where my first reporting job was. And my salary was $21,000 a year. So if you take taxes out of that, that comes out to roughly around $500 every 2 weeks. And I lived in this really horrible apartment where the roof leaked. There were countless times where I would have to pack my bag and drive to the gym to shower because my water heater would go out. But it was literally all I could afford. Like if you guys follow me on social media, you'll see that I'll post that place like random times and kind of share where I started, because that was all I could afford. And I honestly remember, I'll never forget, I tell people this all the time because this was such a groundbreaking moment in my life, was when I came home to a electric bill that was $600, and I collapsed to the floor because that was literally more than what I made in 2 weeks. So I remember turning my heat off in the middle of the winter and just literally like laying there in like double up sweaters and doubled up socks and just crying myself to sleep every single night, because I was broke. I was absolutely broke. I still had to go back and work at the bar that I worked at in college on the weekends. And people would be like, aren't you that girl on TV? And I'd be like, no. Because like I was literally a news reporter 5 days a week and then bartending and waitressing the other 2. And I was choosing, honestly, at that point in my life, I was choosing between gas and groceries. And that's when depression really hit me again. So when April 2014 came around, I was at a really low spot. And I was actually scrolling through social media and I came across a post from Natalie. And it was actually like a split image. If you go back then, like we were really good at graphics back then, and Natalie just started coaching. So just kind of envision what that graphic looked like. She was in her wedding dress and Rachel Khalil was on the other side. And they were talking about this joint challenge group that they were doing for T25. And I can remember that like in my brain, exactly what that looked like. And the thing is like, I knew Natalie from that bar that I worked at. And I didn't really know her much outside of that. We went to church once or twice, but that was pretty much it. And I was actually really thrown off by the post, not because of the graphic and how amazing it was. I was thrown off by it because of the way she was talking. She looked happy. She was talking about how she was fulfilled. And honestly, guys, like if you are somebody that suffers from depression and anxiety, the last thing that you want to see when you're barely hanging on by a thread is somebody that's happy. If you go scroll all the way back to 2014, you will find that photo. I'm telling you, it's probably February of 2014. But anyway, I honestly, what'd you say?
It also had Shaun T's DVD cover on it. So.
Yeah, it was like a 4-pack. It was like it was like in a grid. So just imagine what that was like, right? So the thing is like, I honestly remember rolling my eyes at her. Like I was like, oh my God, it's one of those. It's like, and that was like before Beachbody was even like all over my stuff yet. But the thing is that she was really consistent. And that was the first clue to success for me from day one, is that she kept showing up in my feed. Every day there she was working out and raving about her results. And finally, I remember messaging her and then asking her about 21 Day Fix. And she was brand new at the time. So I got this message back that was this long. Okay, talking about how she was going to sell me Shakeology and how like she gave me the whole price. She gave me every single thing that you need to know about a challenge pack in one paragraph. And I was like, okay. And then bye. Like I just dipped. And so then I went on to teambeachbody.com and I bought my DVDs by myself. And I went about my business because I didn't want to pay for the Shakeology. So I did it behind her back. And I always have to tell people, like, don't ever count those people out. You guys all know those people. We've all had one, that's like, oh, I just went on bought it on Amazon because it was cheaper. Like that was me. I did that. But here's the thing. When my package came in the mail, I was really excited. It was on back order back then because that's when 21 Day Fix just came out. So it took forever to get to me. But it did get here. And then in 2 weeks, I literally, I did it to a T, to the point where I literally counted out 12 peanuts and put it in my blue container like that. I did it to a T. And in 2 weeks, I was down 7 pounds and I was excited. But since I did this by myself, I didn't have a challenge group. I didn't have a coach. I did it all alone. And so I would actually reach out to Natalie every once in a while and I would ask her questions. And bless her heart, but she answered me and she gave me advice and she helped me through it. And then one day she made a post and it was another quality photo of her giving out Shakeology samples. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm going to ask her for one of these samples because I was broke and a mooch. So I was like, sure, send me one of these samples. And she did. And she actually sent me like all these recipes and told me to try it. So, me being the, broke girl that I am, I made that packet last for 3 shakes and I tried 3 different recipes. And the thing is that she was there for me, despite the fact that I was just kind of doing my own thing and flying solo. But here's the thing, because she did that for me, and when I was ready and I was excited and I tried Shakeology, I was like, I want to do this. I want to keep going. And my brain was thinking, what's next? My brain was thinking, what's next, when I was 13 days in. And that was when I remembered her T25 picture. And I was like, let's do that next, right? Because that's what she was doing. And so I reached back out to her, even when I didn't purchase from her. And I trusted her because she helped me. And she told me I could get this discount on Shakeology, and if I wanted to sign up as a coach. And I literally was on the way to a Bruce Springsteen concert, text her my social security number, and she enrolled me. And that's how I became a coach. But the thing is that I tell you guys this because that's like the most like whenever you think of somebody who is where I'm at in my business, you don't think of like the ringer that they put their coach through just to get enrolled. But at the same time, she started a couple months before me. And I remember, so when she was training me, she was still extremely new herself. And so I do want to also just kind of sidebar for a second and let you know that it's never too early to start inviting to the business opportunity. If she was brand new and she had and you're going to see it in a second how she trained me, because I screenshotted everything. And I want you guys to see it, because she had no idea what she was freaking doing. And I had no freaking idea what I was doing. But the thing is I didn't know that she had no idea what she was doing. I'm going to say that again. I had no idea that she had zero idea what she was doing. She made it so she sounded confident. She sounded excited. She was telling me all the stuff that she was going to do. And on our very first Getting Started Right call, I'm telling you, I was already skeptical. And she gets on our very first Getting Started Right call, and I think our call lasted like an hour, because again, that was back in the days where literally you gave everybody all the information at once. And she told me that she was going to quit her job and do this full time on that call. And I was like, you can do that? I said, that's a thing? Like, I had no idea what this was, but she sounded so freaking confident on the phone that she was going to take this thing and run with it, that I was like, damn, maybe I can do that one day. That sounds cool. She gave me no indication that she literally had no freaking idea what she was doing and what she was saying to me. And the best part is I know the same situation goes for her and Rachel, because I think her and Rachel signed up in her upline, which was like a week apart. And we were all just trying to figure it out together. So the thing is that Natalie asked me last night to talk about systems on this call, what I did to get to this point. And honestly, guys, I'm very flattered by that. People seem to know me for my organization and the way that I approach this business. And that really cracks me up, because now that I'm a new mom, that ship has since sailed into the sunset. I don't know what organization is anymore. My life is just straight chaos. I don't know left from right anymore. But what I can honestly say is that there is actually not one true system that got me here today. When it comes to this business, guys, and you guys all know this, there's enough blueprints and tactics to make your head spin. And every single place that you turn, you're going to find someone sharing a formula or a training on how to be successful in this business. You can literally go through Facebook, make one quick scroll, and you're going to see one of those ads that say, hey, Beachbody coach, you want to know how to hit Success Club 500 in one day? Like literally everybody's trying to sell systems. They're trying to sell this and how to be successful in this, right? We have national wake up calls every Monday. We have team calls like these every Wednesday that light us up. And, we hear from all these people who have found success before us. And, a majority of us actually never get to be able to have the businesses that we want to have, because we're trying to be a carbon copy and change everything every single week. It's like this constant endless cycle. We're getting information thrown at us all the time. We're in consume. And it's actually Bob Heilig that actually said this, that we are always consuming. And the biggest mistake that our new coaches make is that it's consume, and we never act. And so the thing that's funny about this is that a lot of you probably got on this call tonight expecting a breakthrough message from me on how to build a 6-figure income, right? You're waiting to see how I train my coaches. You're waiting to see what my boot camps are like. You're waiting to see what's actually going on in my Team SB page and why I'm not in this big Transformation Nation page all the time, right? And you're wondering how my team has had record-breaking rank advancement in the last 5 months. You want to know how it's all happening. And you're going to hate the answer that I'm about to give you. It's not a single system. It's action. It's been action from day one. I was never given a PDF that got me moving. It wasn't a coach group. It wasn't a training. And although Natalie was great and she was there for me, it wasn't even Natalie that got me where I am today. It was about being a student from day one and deciding that I was going to learn every single day. That was it. And just like Mackenzie said, and she took the words right out of my mouth, the system is action. The system has always been action. And here's the thing. How many of you guys remember when you first got enrolled? Do you guys all remember having a very streamlined getting started right process? Do you guys remember the email you got or like random things like a coach group or a training or a little thing you were in? If you guys came in the past couple of years, you probably had a very nice streamlined process. I want to show you what mine looked like when I first started as a coach, okay? So here is my beautiful welcome email. Not even a hello, welcome to the team. It is a, here's all the information that you need to know. Oh wait, can somebody make me able to share my screen? Oh, there we go, thank you, thank you. So this is my getting started right email. A lot of info on this file. Read when you actually when you can sit down and go through everything. Don't feel overwhelmed, you'll catch on in a few weeks. Okay, bye. Like that was pretty much it, right? So there you go. Here's this. And I do want to make this very clear. Like I told you, I trusted this. This is what I was given. This was how I was being trained. This is what she was given. This is how we learn. So I get a 5-page PDF on the philosophies of the business, my getting started list, and then that's pretty much it. That's what she gave me there. And then she gave me, sent me this thing, which told me again, is this the same thing? Yeah, pretty much the same thing. And then she gave me this thing. This is the one I was missing. This one? Info. That's all it says. And and then it just says, you just click on it and it tells you how to sign people up as a discount coach and how we have to like ask people for social security numbers. And then she sent me last thing. Where was that? She sends me this Shakeology info. And then save to your computer. I always email this to people about Shakeology. And then it was 4 things about Shakeology. And then the best part is if you look, here I am just forwarding it all along. I'm just passing it on and doing my thing because I was just doing what I was told. She gave me the information and I was just doing my thing, right? And so, it's hilarious and you look back on it because your guys' is not like that now if you're brand new. But I think the thing is to understand is that here's the process. If I would have waited for this beautiful streamlined system and my upline to hold my hand, I wouldn't be here right now. In fact, like honestly, and it was exactly the opposite. Everything that she gave me, you guys saw I passed on immediately. I remember laying on my couch with a clipboard and highlighting the things that she gave me. Like that was literally like what I was doing. And so my process from day one was always listen, learn, fail, repeat. Listen, learn, fail, repeat. I listened to what she told me. I learned. I failed over and over and over again. And then I repeated. I tried something else. The thing about Natalie is that she led from the front and I duplicated from day one. I'll say it again. I had no idea that she didn't really know what she was doing. She was confident, I trusted her, and I took all of her stuff and I forwarded those same documents on for months. For months, because that was what I was taught to do. And you guys, if you would like go through those emails, you would see that I actually forwarded that to my very first coach 6 days after I enrolled. Like I was a person, like she brought me on as a coach. She told me I had to bring on coaches. I was like, okay, I got to go find coaches. I had my first coach within 6 days. And I sent her all those documents. And somehow she, I guess, did stuff too at the beginning. I had my own team page with only one other person 2 weeks into coaching. I went out and I saw her start a team page. So I was like, I got to start a team page. I had trackers. I did all the things. She told me to hit Success Club monthly. And I remember writing it down. Hit Success Club monthly. She told me to hit Emerald. I did it in a day. She told me then I would be like, what's next? And she said Diamond. And I said how? And then she showed me. And when I say she showed me, she did it first. And then I watched. And then I did Diamond. And I said, what's next? And she said 2-star. And I said how? And then she showed me. And then I hit 2-star. And I said, what's next? And she said 5-star. And I said how? And she showed me. And so this process continued. So the thing is that the secret isn't found in a system. The secret has always been very intentional work. I've done very intentional work for 6.5 years, every single day, even when I didn't feel like it. I've done intentional work through weddings, through moving, through 17 months of infertility, through motherhood, through COVID, through depression, through anxiety. I showed up through the past 6.5 years and I never took my foot off the gas because this was important to me. And so I always talk to my team about intentional work. My coach sneak peeks, I talk about intentional work. Like that's what I always talk about, because again, it's one thing to show the fun, frilly stuff about this business, but you're not going to bring in coaches that actually want to work unless they know what they're going to have to do. So it's extremely important that we kind of talk about this and that you guys are understanding what intentional work actually is. Because sitting on your phone and scrolling through social media for an hour is not intentional work. That's you taking time away from your family and calling it building a business. There you go, mic drop. Told you I'm very blunt. That's what it is. If you're sitting there on your stories every single night and you're not inviting and you're not trying to grow your business, you're just wasting time. You're spending time away from your babies. That's not okay with me. So everything that I do is intentional. And I've done that for 6.5 years. So intentional work is doing the work that matters, not busy work. It's not even making graphics. It's not even doing any of that stuff. It's doing the stuff that's going to move the needle forward. And that knowing that even with the crazy, even when life is crazy, even through this giant pandemic, my dreams and my future count on me showing up every single day. Even when I was going through infertility and there were days I didn't feel like getting out of bed, when I did get my blessing, I had a life I had to build for her. You know, like if I wouldn't have shown up for 17 months because my life got hard, she wouldn't be living the life she's living right now. And that's pretty crazy, right? And things are going to get hard. But the thing that you need to understand is that if you treat this like a hobby, it pays like a hobby. I mean, it's as simple as that. If you treat this like a business, it pays like a business. So if you want to keep making $14 a week in Team Cycle Bonus, then keep treating this as an Emerald coach, only making $14 a week in Team Cycle Bonus, or start deciding that you want to take this to the next level. Start saying that you need to be focusing on the intentional work that's going to actually move your business forward. And I know for me, it's really easy to make that entire list of things that you want to do to move your business forward and then put the needle moving activities at the end because they're your least favorite things to do. But if that's what you find yourself doing, it's those things that actually need to be done first. I'm going to show you guys what I would do every single day. But the thing I need you to understand really quickly is the amount of time that you need for this business. People ask me all the time, how do you make time for this business? You know, or I don't have time for this business. It's like, no, no one has time for anything else. Believe me, we all have a full agenda. This is America. We all have a ton of stuff going on. None of us have extra time. You make the time. It's as simple as that. You make it, you find it. You look in your schedule and say, this is important to me. I'm going to find time to send an invitation today. Like that's just how it is. Like whether that's you waking up early or you staying up late or you working through your lunch hour, like you figure it out. Or it's you feeding the baby a bottle and answering some messages. Like you got to figure it out. You got to navigate it. So the time that you actually are going to need on this business is dependent on how serious you are about building it. I was really serious about building it. So my work was very intentional and I put in more time for it. Most coaches can move the needle with an hour of intentional work a day. We don't say like you can work an hour and grow your business and then tell them that it's okay to scroll social for an hour, right? Growing on your stories, it's not going to do that. And then they get mad whenever they find out that they need an extra hour to invite or to enter their messages or whatever. As your team grows, obviously your time requirement is going to grow. But the thing you need to understand is that your time commitment is going to be a direct reflection of how bad you want this. So let's talk about intentional work. Okay. So what does that look like? When I wanted to quit my job, that was one of my very first big goals. There was a ton of there's a bunch of little rank advancement goals before that. And I think that I honestly, and Natalie can probably back me up on this, I think that I honestly made all my little rank advancement goals because she was hitting them first. And I was like, I thought that's what I should be doing. Not saying that all of those were not important and that I shouldn't have been shooting for those things, but I don't think that I was ever really shooting for them for the right reasons. I don't think that I was ever pushing I saw her go to NLC and I was like, I want to go to NLC. Like that was like the way my brain worked. I was just like, I want to go to NLC. That's cool. Like I'm going to shoot for that. And so it was actually funny. I have these written down, and I'm literally going to bring you guys back from a long time ago. She actually asked me, I don't even know if you remember doing this, but you asked me whenever I made a goal to write why after it, because I was just making goals to make goals. And so this is my biggest advice to any of you guys. If you have goals that you keep making for yourself and you're wondering why you're not hitting them, a big part of that is probably going to be to the fact that you don't even know why you're pushing for it. So I have this little vision from 2015 all written out of me asking, like she asked, like I started writing down my own goals. This is the first time after just kind of chasing her goals for a couple of years or her rank advancements for a couple of years that I decided I was going to finally start making my own. And so I said, like, chop up my credit card by December 31st, 2016. And I said, why? And I said, it's drowning me. I have a lot of credit card debt while planning my wedding. I want to cut it up and never worry about another payment. $2,000 in savings. When? December 31st. Why? I need stability. I don't want to worry about being behind on rent. If an emergency happens, I need something to pull from. So I literally would make the goal and I would start writing it out. Well, then I decided that one of my giant goals was to quit my job. And I was a reporter and I was tired of working that crazy shift. And I could tell you probably 6 hours worth of why I wanted to quit that job, but that was my first big goal. And I reached out to Natalie and I can still remember where I was standing in my news station when I called her. And she asked me with what I would need to be making to feel comfortable quitting that job. And I said $1,500 a month. And so she gets off the phone with me that day and she just like got to work and she's like, okay, what does Kelsey need to do to make $1,500 a month? And this baby, I still have in my possession, okay, the $1,500 a month plan for Kelsey. This is it. And it was a list of 8 things that I need to do. And I'm not going to read through every single one, but I think that what she said is pretty freaking hilarious because it's literally how I've operated in my business ever since. And it's really, really important that you guys hear this advice that she gave me because this has gotten me to where I'm going to tell you what I'm officially making monthly right now. She said the mentality of I've done enough this month or let me wait until next month to sign these people up so it goes towards Success Club is done. You have to work from day 1 until day 30 or 31 every single month, helping as many people as possible. That was such a good tidbit. I've never stopped ever since. How many of us have been like, okay, it's end of the month. I'm going to wait until the next. Number 2, Success Club is not an option in either account. And you know that, which is why stressing about number 1 is silly. You will hit every single month and you're limiting yourself by thinking otherwise. Number 3, positive affirmations every single day that you can and you will do this. Write $1,500 a month goal on your goal board. That was on sticky notes around my entire house. And I did that with every goal ever since then. Number 4, Success Club 10 is $200 with a $40 commission or $250 with a $50 commission. Plus $100 bonus is $350. She literally broke this down for me. $350. Success Club 10 second account, another $350 including bonus. So you need to hit Success Club 10 in both accounts and really need to if you're trying to build a diamond in his. My second account is my spouse account. So for those of you wondering. Always put yourself first. His account is for extras. Even if this is lessening money for cruise dollars, because I was obsessed with the Success Club trips. That's why she put that in there. Your money is your main purpose. And it has to happen until you start cycling more, approximately $700 in commissions monthly. So because I wasn't making any money in cycle bonus, I was having to sell a lot back at the beginning. Number 5, you need to be making $400 to $500 a week in cycles. That's $100 or $100 a month in cycles. That's $100 a week. This is where recruiting, busting out Success Club, and encouraging your team to be products of the product, having your team hit Success Club, all boost volume. Number 6, you are done with limits, full force with your mindset. Number 7, give or take another $100 and $200 between both accounts in Success Club. If you're making Success Club 10 in both accounts, will now put you in the $1,200 to $1,300 range, which is a great start. If you continue to do this consistently and grow your volume every single month, you'll be able to reach your $1,500 in the next 2 to 4 months. Don't forget to save for taxes. And then last but not least, and this is coming from and this is the best one, you need a solid diamond account and you don't have one. Interesting. I'm now a 7-star diamond coach, so this is interesting. You need a solid diamond account, you don't have one. You need another reliable emerald on your left, someone you know that's going to be in this no matter what. Until you have that, you don't need to be placing coaches in Zach's account because you'll never be 1-star qualifying if you're not a diamond yourself. So those were her 8 tips that she gave me. And these 8 tips I've carried through my entire business. I've never taken those things since then. And I can confidently say that I did not only made $1,500 very quickly, and I did quit that job, but as of last month, I made $19,000 in 1 month. Beachbody does not guarantee any sort of income or success. Each coach's earnings are through their hard work, diligence, and skill. So fast forward 4 years after that conversation of me busting my ass in commissions to make just $1,500 to quit my job, I'm now making in 1 month what I used to make an entire year at that first reporting job. And I'm able to give my family the life that I always dreamed for them. So when it comes down to it, it's not about the system, it's about the work. And this is what I did every single day from that moment that she told me what to do. Your response, I want to talk about 2 different things, okay? Really quickly. These are going to be your tactical tips. So if you're a note taker, these are my tactical tips for you. Our responsibilities as a coach are to do the following. This is not new information. Commit to a fitness program. Drink your supplements. Engage in personal growth. Be there for your clients and be there for your coaches. Those are your responsibilities. I've done that every single day. But that's not all we do. When it comes down to your intentional work and what you need to be doing every single day, there are daily, I'm talking every single, here's the thing I have to just say. You're going to notice that I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. But when I was this girl back here, I didn't have a right to take a day off. I can take a day off now to be with my family because I worked my ass off for that. But when I was trying to quit this job, I didn't have the right to take a day off. And there are still days where I don't not show up on Saturday. It's like I'm gone from the world. I'm still doing some sort of work. I'm talking like sitting down and like doing all my intentional activities on Saturdays and Sundays. Those days are for my families, but I'll still be on social media. I'll still be on on my stories. I'll still do some of my things. But here's the thing that is important. And when you're trying to get this thing off the ground, and you're trying to make money, I've been doing this now for 6.5 years, and you're going to see that the stuff that I started doing back in 2014 is very similar to the stuff I'm still doing right now. I just have a team, so I have a couple extra responsibilities. Number 1 is inviting. Duh. You can't expect people to come to you. I mean, you just can't. You have to be inviting every single day. Number 2, you have to be posting on social media every single day. Number 3, you have to be following up every single day. You have to be having conversations with people and bringing in new people and trying to engage with people and make new friends every single day. And you need to be expanding your network every single day. Every day. It takes literally less than an hour to do those things if you're doing it intentionally, if you're not scrolling and getting sidetracked and looking at other things. So the thing that you need to see here is, and this is really funny, but this little folder right here are all business activity trackers from when I first started as a coach. Okay. All of this is a business activity trackers from when I started as a coach. Like this. I was in Kansas that day. Look, I was a 1-star diamond coach, tracking my business every single day. I have an entire composition notebook of names and things that I need to do in my business every single day. I have this is literally how intentional I've been since day one of making sure that my stuff gets done every single day. Did I have the most organized system back in the day? No, I did not. I did not, clearly, because I have no idea what my brain now doesn't even know what to do with this folder, and I still don't even know why I have it. It gives me anxiety. But that is what I do every single day. And literally, it was in my little Kelsey Pape emerald binder, and I put those things in every single day and did what I needed to do. Now that has transformed into the things that I do right now, which, to share my screen with you so you can see, 6.5 years later, this is now that business activity tracker. And I still do all the things that I just said. I'm still doing my personal development and working out, drinking my Shakeology. I'm still making new connections every single day. I'm still sending new follower messages. I'm following new people every single day. I'm adding names to my invite list so I can invite them later. I'm sending invitations every single day. I do follow-ups. I post on social media. I'm on my stories. I respond to everybody that engages on my stuff. I answer and send emails. I empty all of my inboxes. I send happy birthday messages. I add value to challenge groups. I reach out to 5 different challengers a day. I write their names in. After I follow up with them, I reach out to them and talk to them one-on-one. I check in with my coach pod because I reach out to my PS coaches one-on-one or in their, wherever they are in their rank. Add value to my followers. And then I do different random things now that I'm farther along in my business weekly. National Wake Up Call still on there, just like you guys do, So everything that I'm doing now is still what I was doing at the very beginning. The reason that this moved is because I kept going. You can't expect to show up and this magical business to appear in front of your eyes in a matter of a couple weeks or a couple months. Or honestly, everybody always was like, give it a year. And I got to a year and I was like, for this is still shitty, but it was like 2 years where it really started picking up. And then it was 3 years and then 4 years. And then all of a sudden I'm at 6.5 years. And I'm like, I can't even believe that this is real life. I literally don't even I can go away for my sister's wedding last weekend and I'm still going to get paid after not being present in my actual activities for 6 days. Right? So my thing is, and what I want to leave you guys with today is, I know that I didn't give you an exact system tonight to help you really just take your business to this, to oh, here's how to train your coaches, or here's how to do the thing, because you'll never say the wrong thing to the right person. One, you don't need the most perfect training system, and everything that you need to know to get somebody started, you already know it. And Sarah's laughing because I said that last night on our Emerald call. I was like, do you know what you do every single day? I mean, I would hope that none of you guys are just sleepwalking through life, right? You know what you're doing every single day. All you gotta do is teach that to someone else. That's literally how easy it is. You don't need the perfect PDF. You don't need the perfect invite. You don't need all this stuff. It's just tell them what to do. Because that's what Natalie did for me. She just said, go do it. Here's 4 Shakeology things. Go learn about it. And I did it. Will everybody do that? Probably not. It's 1 in a dozen you're going to find that's actually going to run in this business. But at the same time, the right people will. So this isn't a call on this perfect system on how to get your challengers results, or there's other coaches on my team that I can definitely recommend to you guys that do it way better than me in a lot of other categories. And I'm humble enough to admit that I do not have this all figured out, and I'm learning from my teammates every single day. And it's funny because I have new coaches coming in right now. They're doing it differently than me, and they're crushing it. But one thing I can say is our getting started right process for our coaches, our challengers, everything, our team has decided to make it super freaking simple. We're tired of continuously pounding information when all they really need to know is how to do this intentional work. They need to know how to invite, they need to know how to follow up, how to post on social media, and how to be a human being and go after their dreams. Like, that's literally it. So the thing is if you want to take this to the next level, like, close your eyes and imagine where you want to be in 6.5 years, and understand that it's not going to just happen with the snap of your fingers. It's going to take work to get there. And missing Success Club is a non-negotiable. I've been in Success Club 10 for 68 months. I have not missed. I don't miss Success Club. I don't make an excuse for myself. I hit Success Club like 20 the month I had my baby. I don't find, like, you're not going to find a reason for me to miss my goals because they're important to me. So if I can leave you with anything, and I promise I'm done, I know I talk a lot. If I can leave you with anything, the biggest thing is you don't need the perfect system. You already know what to do, number one. And number two, you have to find something that's worth fighting for and worth working for. Because if it's not worth it, you won't even show up. So if you find yourself not wanting, like, I'm 6.5 years in, and I'm still excited to show up. And I tell my coaches this all the time. If you find yourself overwhelmed, if you find this not fun, you're not doing this right. So that's what I got for you tonight. Hopefully that was helpful. I know it's probably not what you guys were expecting, but hopefully that was good.
Do me a favor, just because there's a lot of creatives on this call, like, just show them, because I know sometimes you're worried to, like, show the things that you think of because you, like, don't want to overwhelm people. But you recently just made a few new little PowerPoint document things. Can you screen share those for a second?
Like how I train my coaches and stuff?
Basically your, what did you just show me last week? Was it what you send to new coaches, or what you send to new challengers, or just
my PDFs, like how I operate and, like, send information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people would love to see that. I think, give them just an idea. This is where Kelsey's doesn't give herself enough credit, but she puts in a lot of work to little systems like this that actually end up alleviating a lot of time because she's not repeating herself over and over and over again.
Yeah. And if you guys want to know how I train our team, like, our team uses all of this. This is, like, actually they don't have this yet. They're getting this next week. I just finished it all. But number one, that workbook, that digital workbook I just showed you guys, I will give you access to, so you guys can copy that if you want a digital business activity tracker like I showed you. Yeah, Cheyenne does. She's in my group right now. Hold on. I think I have too much going on. My computer's like freaking out. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Am I okay? Am I back and good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So first, like I just mentioned, I don't know if I went out when I said it, but that digital August workbook that you guys saw, I will post it in the page. I just ask that it won't let you edit it. So you're gonna have to go and make a copy of it, and it's going to tell you exactly how to do it. So if you're somebody that likes to track your stuff digitally, I already created a copy for my team. So you guys can literally go do the exact same thing and make it your own. And there's a video of me explaining the whole thing and how to do it and how I use it. Okay, so this, and I guess Team SB, this is what you guys are getting next week. It's okay. No, it's good. Okay, so this is how I operate for my team. I don't like to make it very complicated. So when I tell you, like, I teach them the intent, I don't know why this is in here. This is going to give me anxiety. It has to get out. Okay, so when I talk about the intentional work, I make sure that my team just knows they know what they need to know. So I don't go above and beyond. So this is it. It's a 2-page PDF. This is how I train my people. All the stuff I just talked about, how they want to track their business. They'll go through when they want to do pen or paper, or the digital version. There's a hustle hour for them. Social media, how to do social media, which I'll show you in a second. How to invite Success Club Emerald, and then they fill out the PDF when they finish going through it. Like, that's how I train my coaches. When I'm sending people information on boot camps, it's just a 2-page PDF. So they can download this and or go through this and then build their bundle, and they learn about everything that we have. Same thing with coaching. They can listen to my story what coaching is, why my team. So like if I'm having a conversation with someone on Instagram, I told my coaches this last night, like the best thing you can do is not talk in a conversation anymore and just to give them the information, because that's how I operate. I don't want to sit there and have, bullshit with you for 10 minutes. I want to just tell me what it is. So all the stuff in there, they can apply to join my team. Then for the team, this is a social media thing. So that teaches them everything they need to know about social media, 2 pages. Like I said, I don't make anything over 2 pages because it's just too complicated at that point. I teach them how to post effectively. Inviting, 1 page. It's a streamlined process. Challenge group coaching up, 1 page. They go through it, send the invite, the response, follow up, how to get them the info, everything. So that's what I'm talking about when I say like I keep it very streamlined and just make sure that they're focused on an actual intentional work and they're not focused on all the other stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. So we do units, and we have a new coach group where they go through units at their own pace. So if you guys are somebody that you would rather create, you can actually take from those units and slap it on some paper and, send PDFs that way. So there's just multiple ways. And I think what's really important is finding out what works for you, because what works for you might not always work for somebody else. But the best advice that I've ever gotten in coaching is that just because it's good doesn't mean it's duplicatable. And you want to make things so simple that they start to duplicate. So if you're finding that your own business is not duplicating, but you think you have great systems, you might have great systems for you, but you don't have great systems for your team. And you need to find a way to simplify it even more so that this can start streamlining itself down the line so that other people can understand and take action and do the same. We'll take 2 questions if you guys have any. Does anybody have any questions for Kelsey?
I'll just unmute. I do. Kelsey, I've been watching you since I joined the business over 3.5 years ago. And one thing I had a question about was coach sneak peeks. I've seen you do everything from a separate Instagram page to full on 1 week coach sneak peeks to 30-minute Zoom calls. What are you doing now? And what did you find with some of the things that you were testing along the way that maybe weren't working and why you changed them? Because I think, like Natalie just said, different things work for different people, but a lot of work goes into each of those different things that you try. And so it could be really helpful to hear why one of those didn't work and what you kind of experienced along the way with the people who were being part of them.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing in regard to anything is, anything in the business, and you guys, if the longer you're in this, you'll know this, is that what worked for you last month probably won't work for you this month. And it's constantly changing and you constantly have to tweak and rechange things. You're right. I have done so many different things and it's hard for me to tell you what worked. Cause right now what's working for me, if you want to know what's working for me currently, it is one-on-one everything. I always host one big one for our team every single month. And I have a couple other coaches that we do 2 a month as a team. I'll host one and then they'll host one. So our team always has one to invite to. But that PDF that you just saw, I invite to coaching. I try to every single day. And if they say they want more information, they get that PDF from me. And then we schedule a time to get on the phone if they want more information after that. That's what really works for me. And I know that if I can get somebody on the phone, the chances of them saying yes are significantly higher than just trying to webinar them or YouTube link them. And I also don't recruit. I'm not a big recruiter. I don't bring on a ton of people. I only like to bring on anywhere from a good month for me is 4. I don't recruit a ton of people, but everything is super personal with my people. And so I try to get them on the phone. What hasn't not worked for me are Facebook groups don't really work for me. Anything that's going to require that, because here's the thing that I will do. The biggest advice I'll give on a coach sneak peek, and I know we're out of time, so is the biggest thing is think about how you'd want the information, and then that's how you should present it. For me, I am a busy mom right now, and I don't have time to sit and watch a 30-minute webinar. So if I'm speaking to my people, like send me the PDF and let me go through it when I have the time to go through it. And please follow up with me probably 6 times because I'm going to forget. So that's kind of the way that I approach the people that are in that market. So just kind of approach it in the way like that you would want that information presented to you. And then just keep tweaking and keep changing things. But we do 1 webinar a month, and then everything else I do is that PDF and then one-on-one conversations.
Sorry, I got kicked off. Was that the first question?
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Guys, top coach in all of Beachbody.
I wish.
Kelsey, my question, I was waiting because I didn't know if anybody else had a question, but that 1500 plan that Natalie did for you, would you be able to share that in our Emerald pod or just on Team SB or something?
Yeah, I'll post it in both of the pages so all of you guys can see what it looked like.
Kels, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Get some rest. Are you still on nighttime wake ups or is she sleeping?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Have fun. We appreciate you so much, guys. This will be recorded and posted. And if you missed it, find it in the album section and send it to your teams. This was so great. Thank you, as always, and see you next week.